friends! Welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and today's pick a card reading is just going to be looking at what the universe, God, spirit, your spirit guides, whatever you believe in, wants you to know right now. So we're leaving messages open for virtually anything. So we have 3 piles to choose from today. We have pile 1 with the Way of the Panda Tarot and the Laramar Moon, pile 2 with the Affirmators Tarot and the Crystal Buddha, and pile 3 with the Whispering Spirits Tarot and the Flower Agate. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one pile. Just go with what your gut says and always trust it first. One of the beautiful things about pick-a cards is that you get to also work on your intuition, because when the messages resonate, you know that you are finding the message for you. So go ahead, pause the video if you need to, scroll down, find your timestamp, and we'll get into your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Laramar Moon and the Way of the Panda Tarot, this is going to be your reading and this is your message from the universe. So before we start, I wanted to just get to know my pile 1s a little bit. So if these cards sound like you, then this message is definitely for you. If it's not resonating, I would check the other piles to see if one of the other ones sounds more like you. And we also have a bonus card that will come out in your advice, because there's something really exciting that I am excited to tell you guys about. But let's start. I just want to get to know my pile 1. So to describe you, we have the Mediator card, we have the Release card, and we have the Gazelle. So one thing that's interesting when the Mediator came out, if you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, the Mediator type for Myers-Briggs is INFP, so you could be one of those. I'm also an INFP, so hi, hello. If not, you don't have to be, but you're definitely somebody who is excellent at keeping the peace. In fact, I think that's something quite important to you. You like everyone to get along. You probably don't thrive on drama, but you could actually really love like reality shows or watching other drama, but you just don't want it to happen in your own personal bubble. You could also be a highly sensitive person, an HSP, or an empath. With the Gazelle spirit here, this talks about somebody who is very sensitive and always very aware of their surroundings. So you could be somebody who picks up on energy easily, or be sensitive to certain like harsh lights or really loud sounds. With this Gazelle spirit as well, it is a fire card, so you could have fire placements in your chart or just be considered overall somebody very fiery. I also get a bit of a Libra energy with the Mediator here. Maybe even Gemini as well. But it doesn't matter what placements you have. I can definitely tell that you're somebody who's very caring and very sentimental. You might have trouble with living in the past and holding on to things that maybe no longer matter. This could be due to social anxiety or just anxieties in general. You might have trouble sleeping with just a racing mind going all the time. But one of the really wonderful and beautiful things about you is that you have a really great eye for maybe not necessarily style or aesthetics, or both. You could be very elegant. I kind of get a dancer energy from some of you, so you could be a dancer or just enjoy dancing, or maybe do like TikTok dances or something like that. You're definitely somebody who likes things to look good, like be aesthetically pleasing, or you could be into like feng shui and things like that. But you might have trouble, for example, getting rid of stuff. You might like taking it in, but then have trouble releasing it. One of the biggest things with this Release card and this crown chakra energy that Spirit is kind of already wanting to highlight to me is that you are your own worst enemy. And I'm not trying to come for your throat. This is actually, it helps you in some ways and hurts you in others. With this Mediator energy, you do have a very fair outlook. You see both sides of a situation. You want everybody to get along. In fact, it might be quite stressful if some of your friends aren't getting along, or your family members. You try your best, and you might be like interested in law or something where you have to be some kind of mediator, or even like a translator. Like maybe you are bilingual, trilingual, something like that. But you like to see all areas of a picture. I think that you're probably somebody who is so self-reflective that maybe you're a little hard on yourself and don't quite see the big picture. One thing that Spirit already wants me to remind you is that you are not perfect. Nobody is, and you're not required to be held to a standard of unattainable perfection. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to have off days, and it's okay to tell yourself that you don't have to be on or perfect all the time. It's okay to take breaks. A lot of people see you as somebody very elegant, very sophisticated, quite tactful in how they speak. You might be somebody to really ponder your words before you say them, but nothing gets past you, my pile one, so that's quite impressive. I think one thing that Spirit is just wanting you to know is don't discount your creative abilities and your viewpoint of the world. You have a very special viewpoint of the world, and you deserve to honor it. And if there's anything in your life that you just feel is weighing you down or holding you back, you're not required to hold on to that. So ask yourself if there's anything, especially like in your past, maybe even from your childhood. There might be some inner child healing that needs to be done here, but I feel like Spirit just wants me to say right off the bat that you are doing so much better than you think you are, and you deserve to give yourself a break. Breathe in, breathe out, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders. You're fine. You're okay. You're doing great. You're right on track with where you need to be. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know now that we have these cards here. So if you're interested in this deck, I know a lot of people love this Panda Tarot deck. I love this deck as well. It is on Etsy right now. I will leave the link below, but it is called The Way of the Panda Tarot deck, and I love it. So I hope you guys do too. So we are just going to see, Spirit, what do you want pile one to know at this time? So we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Hanged Panda, the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords, the Hierophant, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is kind of funny because this is actually already highlighting what I was talking about. So pile one, you guys work very, very, very hard, and Spirit is well aware of that. They're proud of your work ethic, and they're very aware that not everyone has the capability of working as hard as you do, and you should be very proud of all the effort you've put in. And I also feel like I want to call out specifically students right now who are studying anything. I'm sure it's been really hard, especially if you're watching this during the time I'm filming, which is still during all the COVID craziness, but this is timeless if you happen to go upon it later. You channel all of your energy into your work, and that's a wonderful thing. But one thing that Spirit is highlighting here with this Seven of Swords is that you might quite bury yourself in your work in order to avoid problems. And Spirit also wants to say, because I kind of lost track with the student thing, but I wanted to say to my students that are studying anything right now, that you're doing great, and under these circumstances things are really difficult, and you don't have to have a perfect GPA or perfect grades. Sometimes just succeeding is enough, and you are enough. Your grades don't define your worth, If you're working, your income does not define your worth, and how much effort you put in is wonderful and it's amazing, but make sure you're not working so hard that you are not taking care of yourself. Because I see with this Seven of Swords here, there is a slight energy of self-sabotage here. And I don't think it's intentional. I don't think it's something that you're consciously aware of. I think it's something that with that gazelle energy, with that racing energy in your mind, where you're just going a mile a minute and it almost just seems like your brain just can't shut the hell up. I can see how your natural inclination is to just dive into your responsibilities. I'm honestly even getting a big nursing vibe here, like if you're a nursing major or something like that, which, by the way, nursing majors, just little wrong. Like, you guys are amazing. I could not do what y'all do. Same with doctors. I mean, you guys are being thrown into the thick of it as students, and I just want you to know that you're doing something so incredibly important, and Spirit is so proud of you. But no matter what you're doing, you could even be an entrepreneur, whatever it may be, you're working really hard. And if you feel like you're not working hard enough, Spirit is saying, yes, you are. You are doing great. You're doing fine. Breathe. Give yourself time to rest. Because I think part of your frustration right now is that you're not able to make as much progress as you'd like to. And I think that what Spirit is trying to get you to understand is that this is more so impatience. Being clarified by the Hierophant here, we also have a lot of Taurus and Earth energy. You could be Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. You're at the right place at the right time. In terms of your spiritual journey, you're doing wonderfully. And what Spirit kind of wants you to understand is that I feel like a lot of you are waiting for some big epiphany moment, or a moment where just everything is going to come together. Like, you're going to have the partner, the car, the job, the house, the life that you want, and it's just going to happen all at once. And I feel like Spirit is trying to explain to you guys that this is all coming in time. And it would be nice if everything was like a movie, and in an hour and a half, you go from this Five of Pentacles energy of struggling to just having all of your wildest dreams come true. And Spirit is saying, your dreams are going to come true. Let's be clear about that. You put in the work, you work hard, you're a good, diligent person, but you hold yourself back because you compare yourself to other people, probably on social media or just in your environment, and feel like you're not doing enough. But I want to remind you that you are seeing such a small fragment of another person's life. And when you compare yourselves to them, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because you are not taking account what's going on in their life. There are so many things that you don't know about that they might be struggling with. And I am sure, in fact, I'm positive that a ton of people look at you as somebody who has all of their shit together and is so driven and just assured to be successful. And Spirit is saying, we know you're tired and we know you're frustrated. And I feel like this is almost with more than one aspect of life. This could also be love. For some of you, if you're experiencing a lull in a current relationship, Spirit is saying that things will get better here, especially with this Ace of Cups and this Page of Cups. If you're expecting an apology from somebody, you can expect to hear that. For those of you who are looking for love, I definitely think that it will be coming in time, and Spirit is really confirming that. And I think it's going to be something that starts a bit slow and is a bit innocent. But Spirit's kind of asking you to hang tight. It's kind of one of those energies of this is kind of happening naturally. And the best thing that you can do is not overthink about how it's going to happen. You don't have to know the how. You just have to trust what your inner guidance is telling you to do, and everything will come in tandem. And also, Spirit wants you to know for some of you, you might be questioning your path, and is this what I truly want? Because this Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, once again, calls out to me because maybe some of you are putting a lot of work into something that you don't feel passionate about. And if that's the case, Spirit is asking you, because let's be realistic. A lot of us end up going into jobs that maybe we don't love, but we do so that we have time to focus on our passions, on our creative adventures. So for some of you, or like, you could love your job. Maybe you're destined to be a nurse, but you also love dancing. Like that, this is just an example. Spirit is essentially asking you not to neglect your creative passions and your creative energy, because one of the things I get with this Ace of Cups, one reason why you might be seeing a lack of beauty in the world right now is because you're denying yourself the ability to express yourself creatively. And let me be clear, you don't have to be good at something or monetize it to express yourself creatively. You can draw the shittiest stick figure picture in the world, and it doesn't matter. Like, I can see you being the type of person who is like, oh, I love art and I want to make more art, but my art is really bad. Bro, it doesn't matter. Like, it's art. You can't, like, that's the beauty of art. You can't mess it up. Like, you can literally do anything and it's art. Like, and I think it's that hypercritical element of you where you just feel like everything you're doing is not good enough, to where you just put yourself down so much, and Spirit's just asking you to stop. You're so wonderful in so many ways. And you're allowed to make shitty art. You're allowed to make great art. You can make whatever you want, and you don't have to share it with anybody. But getting those creative passions out, for some of you, you could be a Pisces, or Taurus and Venus. Taurus and Libra are calling out to me, especially because they are ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty. If you practice witchcraft or pray to any deity, you could pray to like Aphrodite or Freya, Lakshmi, different deities. But Spirit's asking you to fulfill more of that beauty and that creative side of you, because I feel like part of this release is like you need to release your expectations. The picture that you have in your head, get rid of the picture that you have in your head. When it comes to art and stuff like that, just accept what you make, because some of you might just need an outlet to channel those racing thoughts or those emotions that you bury. And I feel like Spirit is just really asking you to not be so focused on the work area of your life, because there are other aspects that you need to nurture. And one important thing that I feel like Spirit wants you to know, if you struggle with this, kind of look at it from a standpoint of your childhood self. If you were your own parent and you saw yourself and how you were living your life right now, what would your inner parent tell you to do? Would they tell you to take a break? Would they tell you to just relax? Would they tell you to ask for help? Because I think also for some of you, you might be so self-sufficient and not want to rely on anyone. Maybe it's because you feel bad asking, or you feel bad imposing on anyone. But Spirit is saying, especially with this Five of Pentacles here, you are not alone. You're not alone at all. And there are so many people that love you. Your guides love you. Family members love you. Friends love you. People that you don't even know love you. Like, and that might sound weird, like, what? People who don't even know love me? But like, just think about it, especially if you're on social media or something like that. People will just look at you from afar and be like, oh wow, pile one is so creative, or pile one is so put together, or pile one is so beautiful. Like, there are so many people that admire you, and I promise that there are people that are there to ask for help. And I think your angels and your guides are also asking you to ask them for help, to call on them for help, because that's their job. They're there to help you. And trust that you're just gonna keep growing and improving with time. There is no time limit. There is no race here. The only person that you're competing against is yourself. And comparison is the theft of joy, or the thief of joy. I don't know if I said that grammatically correct, but you have, with this Page of Cups here, such a beautiful mindset and such a beautiful outlook when you're not being plagued by those anxious thoughts or those thoughts that you're not good enough. And I think that at your core, you have this energy that's so bright and so beautiful and loving, and you want to help other people. You are a very helpful person, and make sure that you're not helping other people to the point of detriment. You know, make sure that you are helping yourself too and giving yourself the love that you need. Help yourself first, fill up your cup first, which I think is interesting with this Ace of Cups. Like, it's like there's a lot of emotional fulfillment that you deserve that you could actually be giving to yourself that maybe you don't realize. And a lot of that could have to do with mindset. Now, if this is something that you really struggle with and feel like, you know, it's not something that you can help on your own, it's okay to get help, whether that is medication, whether that is counseling or therapy. Just do what you need to do to get help. Resources exist to help you, and you don't have to do everything alone. And you are never, ever alone, even when it feels like it. Like, the universe, your guides, any loved ones that have passed over, their spirits are always with you. And I feel like with this release card, it might be really hard for you if you are somebody who has lost someone very close to you, and the absence of their physical presence might be really hard. But just remember that just because they're gone in the physical world does not mean they're gone. That doesn't mean they're completely gone. They might not be able to knock on your door and give you a hug, a physical hug, but they can give you an emotional hug. They are with you and they love you, and they're here to help you along on your journey. And I feel like Spirit is kind of just asking you to go back to your childhood self. And what did your childhood self want you to be? What did your childhood self want you to achieve? Go back to that creative energy where you just didn't care. Like, I feel like Spirit just wants you to have the energy of a kindergartner and just wreak havoc in a positive way. Like, don't be so focused on things having to be perfect. Don't color within the lines. Just do whatever the hell you want and have some freaking fun, because you deserve it. And I feel like this Five of Pentacles energy, one, Spirit is saying, it's not going to be this way forever. And remember that even when things fall apart, you have you might need to focus on the brighter side of things a little bit. And I know that's like kind of really frustrating to hear sometimes, like, oh, just be positive. Like, sometimes it's very hard to be positive. And I can tell with this Nine of Wands, you might be just completely exhausted. And Spirit is acknowledging that they know that you are. And part of the reason you're exhausted is because you're channeling all of your energy into one area of your life. So it's time to just realize, I can breathe. I'm okay. These things are coming within time. You can't rush this stuff. There's a lot of things that are playing out in your life right now that you cannot directly see. But like this card, this is perseverance. And Spirit is telling you, please, 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 for the love of God, do not give up on your dreams, on your ambitions. If you're a creative, for example, don't give up. You are wonderful, and there is room for you. No matter how many people might do the same thing that you do, there is room for you. You have a unique perspective, and you have a unique way of expressing yourself, and you are just as valid as anyone else sharing their artwork. And if people tear you down, F them. Who cares? F them. They don't matter. Think about the type of person who has to go out of their way to comment something mean or trash somebody else. They're probably not a very happy person, and they're probably not somebody who's very happy with themselves. Just do you. Focus on you, because you are wonderful, and you are going to achieve such great things, and they are coming within time. And I also want to speak very quickly to the mothers out there. This Queen of Pentacles is quintessential mother energy to me. You are enough, and you are doing the best that you can, and you need to stop being so hard on yourselves. I personally am not a mother, so I can't say that I understand what it's like to go through this, but I do just see online how, you know, people are so quick to shame mothers. People are so quick to just act like what somebody isn't doing is enough. And I feel like as a mother, there's already so much anxiety of, oh, am I doing what's best for my kids? Am I doing what they need? Am I enough? Am I a good? You're a good parent. If you love your child and you do the best that you can every day, you're a good parent. You don't have to be perfect. The house isn't always going to be clean. You're not always going to be able to be the perfect parent, partner, worker, creator. You just have to do the best you can every single day. And Spirit is saying that they are so proud of you, but don't forget to take time for yourself, because you deserve to have that childlike energy as well. And even if you don't have kids, there is this element of needing to mother yourself or father yourself, parent yourself, whatever it is, to be that nurturing, loving presence for yourself, because you already really clearly like to do a lot of things on your own and do it for yourself. And it might come from this energy of like, well, I don't trust anyone else to do it. I want to do it my way and I want to do it right. And that's absolutely valid. But don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. But also give yourself a break. Pat yourself on the back. Actually, no, like do it right now. Pat yourself on the back, please. And look at the freaking mirror and tell yourself that you're doing a good job. You are doing enough, and you don't have to be the perfect thing for everyone all the time. If you can only just be there for yourself today, that's okay and that's valid. You are doing the best you can, and Spirit is saying don't give up, especially for my creatives in this pile. Don't give up. There are good things coming. And I think that you have a main guide who's actually helping you with this. But creative expression is a huge thing here, especially with the gazelle. I think your creative passions are your fire. And if you've ever seen Survivor, you know, the quote in there is, once your fire is gone, so are you. And so if you are not feeling that inner fire, those things that make you feel driven to get up in the day and like things that you enjoy, it's time to find that fire again, to light that fire, to do something that you feel passionate about. It's okay to choose you. You know what I mean? You can't be perfect all the time, and you can't spread yourself so thin that you're just an empty shell serving others. And I feel like that's especially for my mothers, because, you know, or not mothers or fathers, parents. For my parents here, you know, being a parent is kind of a thankless job. Or, you know, like mental health care workers, social workers, teachers, healthcare workers. A lot of times the things we do are a thankless job, and we do them anyway because we know we have to. But you have to be objective and remember that you're aware of how hard you work. So you're aware of the rewards that you deserve. You are allowed to have breaks. Give yourself a bath, drink a glass of wine. Like, give yourself whatever you need to just breathe and treat yourself. Get a freaking mani-pedi, whatever it is, like treat yourself a little bit. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. You have the kindest heart and you work so hard. Trust that everything is working out the way it is supposed to, and you're at the right place at the right time. But Spirit just wants you to know that you're doing a wonderful job. You're doing the best that you can, and you do not deserve to beat yourself up as much as you do. So let's go ahead and get into some advice for you guys and see what Spirit wants you to know. And then we will do charms. So Spirit, what do you want pile 1 to know? I trust 222. Trust that the seeds of your thoughts are growing as you are nourishing with them with words, feelings, and action. I am balanced. Yeah, this is definitely a huge energy of needing to find balance. And on the back of the deck, we have the number 20. You relate to others, that's that mediator energy, on an almost cosmic level. You are dedicated to building harmonious relationships of all kinds. You have the ability to persuade others to your point of view by using gentle means. I am harmonious. So these are wonderful aspects that you have, but you need to have balance within yourself in order to feel like in order to just understand that you're doing okay. So let's get you some more advice here. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1? What do you want them to know? So we have Winston and Belfry. Today is the beginning of anything you want. I love that because I definitely think that this is a reminder of what you need to release. Like, even if yesterday was a terrible day, even if last week was a terrible week, this year has been a really shitty year. But every day is a new beginning and you can always start fresh. And we also have Holly Poppet and the, I don't know how to say that, Andres. Be the reason somebody smiles today. And I feel like this calls even more to you. If you're not smiling, that somebody can be you. Be the reason why you smile. You deserve to be happy too, and you deserve those things as well. So let's get some messages from the universe, and then we will get charms. So Spirit, what do you want pile 1 to know? The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. I honor how I want to feel. Yeah, don't ignore your feelings. This is important. And oneness is my true nature. And on the back of the deck, we have, I am unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So that can be love, focusing on your creative abilities. Even if you're the worst drawer in the world, as Jake from Adventure Time says, sucking at something is the first step to being sort of good at something. So trust that you've got everything that you need. You are doing wonderfully. And things are going to continue to just keep getting better. But make sure to take care of yourself. You have a lot of beautiful things coming. And especially for my creatives out there, remember, keep going. Don't give up. You're doing wonderful. And you're just like closer than you think to a lot of blessings that you've been wanting. And remember that you are never separated from anyone or anything. You are, oneness is my true nature. That is talking all about, you know, how we are connected with the universe. We're always connected to that divine presence, and that divine presence exists within us. So remember to take time to explore yourself, to get to know yourself, to meditate, to explore that spiritual side of yourself, because you deserve it. You are so wonderful. And I feel like Spirit just wants me to reiterate that over and over, because you're way too damn hard on yourself, and you need to let go of how you think you should be. Social media is such a bullshit picture of actual life. That's not real life. We're not perfect. We're not wired to be these perfect robots, you know? Bodies change, mindsets change, people change. You are valid and beautiful exactly as you are now. And you are absolutely capable of following whatever dreams you want to achieve. So let's get into your charms now and just see what Spirit wants you to know. And we'll get you some songs and we'll send you on your way. So pile 1, Spirit, you want pile 1. Okay, yeah. Oh, this is stuck in there. So we have Sagittarius coming out, which is optimist energy. Yeah, Spirit is asking you to look on the brighter side of things sometimes, to trust that things are working out the way they are meant to, and that things will get better. We also have this 4 of Swords charm coming out here. And I think this is important because I felt for a lot of you that you need to take a little break. You need to rest. You know, if like, for example, if you have kids and you struggle to find time for yourself, you know, maybe finding a way to take a girls trip for a weekend, or like a staycation where maybe like your kids stay at friends' houses or stay like with their grandparents or something like that, and you can just have a moment to yourself, like take a bath, like just breathe. But, you know, give yourself a time to rest. You work so hard and you should be so proud of yourself. And I love that this turtle came out, because this was what I was thinking of this charm earlier when I was talking about how with this Hanged Man energy, like everything is coming within time. And with this, life is not a race. You are like, there is no finish line. You're just doing the best you can every single day, and that is okay. I'm getting a very specific message with this FE here. I'm thinking of iron. So for some of you who might be feeling very, very exhausted, obviously this is something you need to talk to your doctor with, but if you are anemic or struggle to get enough iron in your diet, maybe that is something you might want to focus on, especially just with eating healthier. But also I see this as F, and so sometimes you just need to not give an F about stuff. Also, if you have fur babies or you just love animals, if you've been lacking that feeling of love, you know, that is a great way to remember how loved you are. Like, your pets love you. And I just think about dogs, cats, turtles, guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, horses, whatever pets you have, even if you don't have any, you know, maybe volunteering at like an animal shelter, or even just going to like a pet store and being around the energy of those pets. It can be very healing. Animals have such a healing energy, and they're so beautiful. We also have this little crown here, and I like that it came out with Leo, which Leo is, on this charm, says generous, but Leo is always about knowing your worth and revolving around yourself sometimes. No, Leo is ruled by the sun, and so Spirit is saying, you know, it's always okay to have a new start, to try something new, to venture out, to just stand strong and know your worth. Like, you are a child of the divine, and you are a divine being, and with that release, that's also with the crown chakra. So you might want to look at some crown chakra. We also have the sacral chakra with perseverance. Getting in touch with the divine, with your religious practices, just getting more in touch with spirit might be quite helpful for you. And then we have the little duck. So this is all about, you know, needing to get your ducks in a row. This is how I usually translate it, but I'm also thinking of this as transformation, and I'm kind of seeing it in tandem with the zero. The zero reminds me of the Fool, but it's also something that's infinite. Every day is a new day, and you can, transformations happen over time, and trust that, like, you are in the process of transforming and you're doing a wonderful job. But remember that you can start every day fresh, and you deserve to. You don't have to hold yourself to feelings of the past, to things that people did to you in the past. You know, oneness is your true nature. You are an infinite soul and living a finite life. Do your best every day. You're doing a wonderful job. Spirit is so proud of you, and you're just going to continue to be receiving blessings. I mean, you really are doing a wonderful job here, and just try not to self-sabotage. Don't be afraid to face yourself. None of us are perfect, and you do not need to hold yourself to that unrealistic standard of perfect either. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just dropped a bunch of cards everywhere. But I'm going to get you songs and then leave you be. So, Spirit, what songs do you have for pile 1? So, I love this song. Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow. I love this song, and I think this is a perfect song for you. This was my anthem when I was 5, and that's perfect with Leo. You know, soak up that sun, soak up that positivity. We also have My Immortal by Evanescence, and we also have Love Shack by the B-52. So maybe blast some music, clean the house, dance around, just have some fun. You deserve it. You're wonderful, pile 1. So thank you so much for watching this reading all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a like and subscribe for more readings like this. And I would love, comment down below how this resonates. I would love to hear, you know, how this resonates, what good things are happening. I want to get some positivity, because I feel like that's really what you guys need right now. Just remember, you're valid. You're doing a wonderful job. Don't beat yourself up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and hopefully you will come back and visit me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the Crystal Buddha, This is your reading, and this is what the universe wants you to know. So to start, I just wanted to kind of get to know you guys a little bit. So if this resonates and this sounds like you, then this message is definitely for you. If you find it's not, you might want to check a different pile. There might be one more suited to you, but let's just go ahead and get into it. So to start, we have the Teacher, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. We have the Bat, the Mouse, and Impatience, the throat chakra. So one thing I'm seeing right away is the presence of earth and air energy. So if you have those placements, this might be a confirmation. You could quite literally be a teacher or an informal teacher. Like maybe you make informative videos, maybe you are just an old soul with a lot of wisdom who helps just teach others through their words. No matter what, you're quite an excellent communicator. With the Mouse spirit here, you might be somebody who's very organized or just detail oriented. I get a heavy Virgo energy from this. Highly analytical, but maybe you struggle with nerves a little bit. You could be nitpicky, like you might want things done your way or done a certain way. And with the Bat here, you could be somebody who either struggles to adjust to change or has a aversion to letting things go sometimes. But with the Bat spirit, I think it's interesting because I think it speaks to a transformation. I feel like a lot of you are in a transformative place right now where you're open to seeing things from a different perspective than you were before. Maybe your natural tendency is to be this Mouse energy. You might be somebody who is small in stature, or maybe you just have like a baby face. Or maybe you really love Disney and that's something that people know about you. But with this Bat spirit here, maybe you've had to face a lot of darkness recently, a lot of challenges, a lot of tough things, especially if you are a teacher and you've been having to teach remotely online or something like that. It seems like you've definitely been put through a lot of challenges. And I feel like a lot of those challenges are in the past. They're things that you were struggling with either recently or are just a culmination of events that have been important for your growth, but maybe you haven't fully processed yet. There seems to be an impatience with things changing and a refusal to let go of some things. You might have a hard time accepting that things are different or accepting that things aren't just going back to normal right now. And you could just be the type of person who's maybe not patient with yourself, like you just want things to happen a certain way, and when they don't, it can be kind of frustrating. I think the one thing that maybe you're struggling with right now is the ability to trust in the universe and co-create with it. But no matter what, you're somebody very intelligent with this air energy, and the fact that you have the ability to teach others is something very special. I almost get, for some of you, like a Miss Frizzle energy, if you've ever seen the Magic School Bus. But I think that you are somebody who's gone through a lot of transformations, and Spirit is very proud of you. It definitely hasn't been easy for you. But I think one of the things that Spirit is kind of highlighting right now is you might be too focused on taking all of the matters into your own hands, and there's some things that you might not be releasing and giving up to Spirit to just allow it to happen. Nonetheless, though, you have all of the things that you've experienced in your life have culminated into you being the person that you are today. And I think that you should be very proud of who you are today. If you're not, I hope you are proud of who you are already. So I wanted to kind of give both of those, because it's often easy to be really hard on ourselves. But I think that you have the ability to see things that not other people do, whether it's, sorry if you can hear my water tank, from a macro or a micro level. It's like you have a very good ability to see things from a perspective that's not straightforward. I think that you could look at things from a holistic perspective, or just from like a little, looking at the details and seeing how all the tiny parts make a whole. You're somebody very intelligent, and also someone very grounded and down to earth. So definitely a really good energy to be around. Probably a person that a lot of people admire. Like you could just teach people a lot of lessons through your interactions with them. Like you could be a mirror for a lot of people, and you might trigger a lot of people because you might show things within them that maybe they don't like. But there definitely is this nitpicky tendency here. I'm not bashing. It's just like, you'll probably know if that's your energy, and maybe having a hard time of trusting that things will happen on their own, that you don't have to do everything yourself. So if that sounds like you, then this is your reading, and this is what the universe wants you to know. Okay. So Spirit, what do you want pile 2 to know? What important information do they need to hear regarding their life at this moment? So we have the 2 of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, and Strength. Maybe I'll push these down a little bit. Then we have the High Priestess, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Hanged Man. And on the back of the deck, we have the World card here. So, what does Spirit want you to know? Well, for a lot of you, I think that there is a special person in your life. You could be with this person. For a lot of you, I feel like you could very well already be with this person. For some of you, this could be a relationship that it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This could be like a really close roommate, or a connection with somebody that is just like your other half, whether it's a best friend or a relationship. I feel like one thing that Spirit wants you to know, I'm feeling this energy of like angst, but I don't know if that's the right word. I feel like it's an energy of, for some of you, it's reading into things that aren't there. And for others, it's intuitively trying to find answers about your dynamic with this person that you're trying to get out of them, like how they might be feeling about you, or what's going on. For some of you, you might be in kind of like a lull in your relationship, like things just like, you guys are just like off kilter, or you're struggling to be completely in tune. It's like you're not hitting the stride that you once were. And I feel like Spirit is saying that maybe intuitively you know something is going on. But I feel like with this High Priestess here, Spirit's asking you to relax a little bit. That some of this is just factors out of your control. It might be helpful to open up the dynamic between the two of you by doing something that you both enjoy. With this Ace of Wands here, I feel like maybe if you guys found something to do together, like a game, or even just going for walks, I feel like maybe there's conversations about feelings that you guys are needing to have, that you're having a hard time relaying to one another. Maybe because you've never had to have a conversation like this, maybe your connection has never gotten to a point like this. And I'm not even saying that it's like a bad point. It's just a point of like not knowing what's going on fully, like where the other person is at. Like maybe they're not really talking about their feelings, or maybe things are just not as passionate and fiery right now. With this High Priestess here, you have the ability to pick up on things, to sense the things that aren't being said, and that's really shown with that spirit, to kind of understand the not like darkness, but like the things that you're in the dark about. And I feel like Spirit is saying that the connection itself is fine. Like, I don't think there's anything bad or wrong going on here. It's just that maybe you need to find new strategies to communicate with one another and be on the same page. Now, for those of you who are not in a relationship with somebody, I feel like, you know, you could either be in separation with somebody, or you're just really focused on finding your other half, and it's getting really frustrating for you. And Spirit is saying not to worry. This person is coming, and you need to trust us that this person is coming, because like with this winking gazelle here, which is kind of interesting. So if you were drawn to the first pile, you might want to watch the first pile as well, because I do see a lot of similarities here. But I feel like things are shifting here, and the best way for them to shift is by using your spare time to do things that you enjoy, and to kind of be a little fearless. But this impatience is really speaking to me. With this Knight of Swords, I feel like Spirit is cautioning you not to say things out of haste, or because you're just feeling like that in the moment, like you have a surge of energy. Be conscious of your thoughts and try your best to look at how you're speaking of things from a different perspective. With this King of Wands here, this might be the person that you're asking about. It's kind of interesting. We've actually had the Page of Cups come out in 2 different readings at this point. And we could definitely have Leo or Pisces energy here with the Strength and the Hanged Man. Fixed energies with the World, so that's also Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus, I believe. And then we have water and fire and air. Not a lot of earth though, what we did have earth in there, so we have like pretty much all of the signs. But for a lot of you, this could be talking about, if you're seeking that person, it's time to come into union with yourself. You need to be balanced within yourself, to balance the energies within you in order to progress and kind of invite this love that you might be looking for if you don't have it. With this King of Wands here, I feel like if you're single, this is talking about how you've mastered the ability to really take charge in your own life, to be your own person. And you're somebody who is incredibly strong, and you have worked very hard to get to the point where you are now. And Spirit is incredibly proud of you. But you have this fiery energy about you no matter what placements you have. But maybe one aspect that needs some developing is your emotional body. With this Page of Cups here, maybe something you struggle with is having the ability to, I don't want to come for your neck with this, so if this doesn't resonate, don't take it, but maybe you have trouble apologizing or admitting when you've done something wrong, or when you might have not been perfect. Maybe because you often do things really well and you often are in the right, it's maybe hard to just admit when you're wrong. And I think it's interesting that you picked the Buddha, because the Buddha desires clarity. So you're either seeking clarity in your relationships or clarity in your direction and where your life is headed, or possibly even both. And I think what's interesting is that we have the World on the back of the deck and the Hanged Man right here. So we've got 12 and 21 energies. And I think part of your frustration is that you're ready for some kind of cycle to close. And it's possibly this cycle that's preventing you from making progress in whatever this is. For some of you, this could be a long distance relationship, and maybe you're not able to see this person if you are with them or just talking to them or interested in them because of COVID and everything going on right now. And you're trying your best to be really strong and have a good outlook, like a positive outlook, but it's been really hard. And I feel like Spirit is saying that there needs to be a surrendering to the things that you can't control. There are so many things in this world that we can't control, and it's very frustrating. And I think Spirit is asking you to shift your focus onto what you can control. Maybe it's time to start focusing on some of your creative abilities with this Page of Cups here. Maybe it's time to focus on some passions. But I definitely feel this energy, this prideful energy where you feel like you're not allowed to be weak or to be a newbie or to be innocent. And I feel like Spirit is saying that that's okay. Like, you're not going to be the teacher of everything. Sometimes you're going to be the student, you know? And I feel like one of the things that you need to learn is your inner self, listening to your inner self, and also an acceptance of change and understanding that things aren't always going to be the same way, to learn how to adapt and ride with the highs and lows of a relationship, of your life, of your inner feelings, to come into balance with yourself. The Spirit is asking you, you know, to not be so hasty and jump to conclusions. Like, if things are really bad right now, they're not going to be that way forever. They're going to change. And you've come a long way from where you once were. And with this World card, I feel like Spirit is saying that there are a lot of things ending soon, that you're coming to a lot of different finish lines, I guess. But you're not necessarily there yet. And Spirit's kind of asking you to just hold on and try to enjoy the ride while you can. You're highly intuitive. And the problem is that you might misconstrue your intuition with your monkey mind, your anxious consciousness, your worries, your fears. And I think Spirit's kind of asking you to go within on that so that you can better understand what is your intuition and what is your anxiety or just your fears building up within you. Because I feel like Spirit is telling you, you gotta let go of some of those things. Like, you might be holding on to a lot of like inner rage. Like, you might be somebody, which no shame if you do, because I struggle with this as well. You might be the type of person to have a lot of road rage. And it might even get to the point where you're just like, how do these morons drive? Like, how do they do this? Like, this is so irritating. I can't believe that like all of these dipshits are on the road. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to remember that, like, you can't control the fact that you've got a dipshit in front of you. Unfortunately, you do. You just got to deal with it. And it's like releasing those things, like those things that you can't change, that you can't alter. Like, there are just a lot of things that happen where you just have to like deal with it and live, learn, laugh, love, whatever it may be. You know, I do think you could be quick to say things and then regret them because something like might set you off or something might trigger you a little bit. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to go within before you react. Because I think that if you're somebody who struggled with this, you've come a long way with it. But I think that it's maybe something still kind of holding you back a little bit. I think you are just as impatient with yourself as you are with others. And so I feel like Spirit is asking you to also be patient with your progress and trust that you are growing, that you are changing, and that things are getting better. And also, if you are one of those people that is in a relationship, to focus less on what they're doing wrong and focus on you. If there's something that bothers you, if there's something that you want to improve, come at it from the perspective as a team. Don't come at it from a point of you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. Look at yourself and say, how do I maybe impact this behavior? And be like, okay, so sit down with them and be like, hey, so there's this issue, and I notice that it makes me feel this certain way, and I know that maybe XYZ actions probably don't help this behavior. Is there a reason for this behavior? Why does this happen? And is there any way we can work together to fix it? I feel like teamwork is going to be a big thing here that you need to focus on. Being adaptable and accepting that sometimes things aren't just going to go your way. Sometimes you're going to have to make concessions. Sometimes you're going to have to compromise. And that's all part of being in a relationship, or being, a roommate, or being a best friend. We have to make concessions sometimes. We're not always going to get our way. And I think it's interesting how many squiggly lines there are. And I feel like that's kind of just speaking to the fluidity that you need to get into. I feel like Spirit's kind of asking you to enter a flow and kind of just take the highs and lows. Don't have expectations for what each day is going to bring you. Just trust that everything is happening the way it is supposed to unfold. And that if you can always rely on your inner guidance, you can navigate through any darkness, through any situations, through any experiences you might not understand, or are difficult. Also, you have a sense of humor and you need to utilize it. Whenever you are having issues, try to deliver it in a way that's like, not like just, I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. Don't be afraid to come at things from a more lighthearted perspective. Not everything has to be so serious. And I think one of the difficult things too as well with this Hanged Man and this World card, maybe if, I almost feel like for some of you, maybe you have a person that you're not in a relationship with, but you kind of hope to be in the future, but for whatever reason, it's not going to work right now, and you're just kind of hoping for the best. This is where the universe is kind of asking you to just like look on the lighter side of things. If it's not happening right now, it's not happening for a reason. And what can you focus on? What can you actually focus your energy on? Are you having fun? Are you doing anything that's fun? If you like The Little Mermaid, maybe watch that movie. I don't know why that came. I think it's this card. Which, by the way, I said in an old video a long time ago, asking if Sebastian was a crab or a lobster. I got mixed responses, and I looked it up, and it's both. He's a crab and a lobster. So we're all wrong and we're all right. And I think that's why I got into that. Maybe that 70s show, if that's a show you like as well. You can be wrong and right at the same time. Truths can coexist. You can be stuck and also transforming at the same time. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to kind of see your worth and understand that we all have light and shadow aspects. We all have good and bad things. You just kind of need to focus on what you can change and trust that the things that you can't change, the universe is aligning to have the most favorable outcome. It's hard to be impatient with things sometimes, but I feel like with this winky face and the High Priestess, I think there's some good shit coming your way. You just need to trust that it is. And with the World card, there are a lot of things shifting here. You have been very strong, and you've been strong for a long time. So it's okay if you want to just like take a break and have like a childish outlook for a day. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just pulled up this card and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing for the better here. Trust. Cycles are changing. Things are turning. Things are getting better, if that makes sense. And I know this was a lot of different messages, so take the ones that apply to you. But yeah, you're fierce as hell. You're fierce as hell. You're a freaking lion. You're so strong. And cycles are closing, things are changing, and things will get better. Don't allow your like anxious mindset to dictate what's going on, because you have a lot more power than you think you do, and you're very, very strong. Okay, well, I'm gonna guess that that's advice from Spirit, but we're gonna get into more advice from Spirit and just what they want you to know right now. Maybe working on your throat chakra would be helpful, because that impatience kind of talks about that. Let's see, Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 2? What do you want them to know? I want to take this one. So we have 999. Thank the past for your lessons and leave it where it belongs so you can make the best of the life that is still waiting to be fulfilled only by you. So yeah, that's definitely the world. Let's see what else here. We have master number 33. Any positive changes or projects you are considering right now will be well worth your while. Expect that your power to manifest and create will be heightened. I am expanding. And on the back of the deck, we have 666. A wake-up call for you to examine your current situation and change the directions of your thoughts so you can change your vibration to a more positive frequency. I am centered. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I was getting. It's like a lot of things are just kind of pissing you off right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, being angry and pissed off is absolutely valid. Like, that's very fiery energy, which I always love as an Aries myself. You could be an Aries. We are in Sagittarius season, but sometimes that anger just isn't worth it, because you just know, like, so maybe if you have to express it, if you have to curse out the person in front of you in your car and just scream it, do it. Let it out. Just let it out and then let it go. Don't hold it in. Don't bottle it up. Like, you are very strong, and you might hold those feelings in way too often, and they might hurt you. So this actually came out in the first pile, but I think it came out for you guys as well, because there are a lot of similarities. But it says today is the beginning of anything you want. So try to start your day out with a positive attitude, you know. Every day is a fresh start, and I was telling pile 1 that as well. You know, you can't always change things. And we also have Piper and the Ghosties. Stand up for what you believe in and never let others steal your joy. Yeah, not everybody's gonna understand you, and that's okay. You're a unique spirit, and you deserve to be joyful and happy. You don't always have to be like the tough one or taking criticism so to heart that it like ruins your day. You know what I mean? And we also have Ruby and the Fox Fighters. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I kind of love that that came out because, you know, maybe you're struggling to attract people that are more positive, and maybe if you try to adopt that more positive mindset. Now, of course, that can always be very difficult. So if you need to get help, whether that be going to a doctor, medication, counseling, whatever that is, absolutely like seek out the resources that you need. Sometimes it's a lot harder to get out of a negative mindset than we think. And just with the state of the world right now, really not a lot of things are very easy. So Spirit is asking you to just let go of those things that you can't change, but also be patient with the fact that things will change in time. And yeah, on the back of the deck, we have Patsy and Jelly Root. Give yourself permission to cut loose. And I think that's what you guys need, is just to not be that strong person all the time. Be this page, you know, under the sea, like, everything's better. Like, go to the freaking ocean, like, have some fun. I mean, maybe you can't go to the ocean, but just try to have some fun. Go back to that. Maybe if there's like a nostalgic movie from your childhood that you used to love, watch it. Or maybe if there's a place that you used to love, go to it. Like, adapt. Spirit's really wanting you to adapt that childlike mindset again, and to not be so serious all the freaking time. And maybe you're not all the time, but maybe you're holding yourself back a little bit by just being too focused and too serious. So Spirit, what other advice do you have for my pile 2 people? I'm sorry, my voice is getting so raspy. I need more water. I choose love no matter what. Yeah, this is an important reminder, because you need to be in the frequency of love to attract love, and you need to come from a loving place when you maybe talk about things that are difficult to talk about, or when you approach situations, you know, when there is a dipshit in front of you, you know, maybe that's a 16-year-old learning to drive. Maybe that person is very anxious and very nervous in the car. Maybe they're afraid of driving. You know, you never know what somebody's going through. You know, maybe someone had like the worst day of their life and they're just kind of out of it. You know, saying, you know, maybe that person is going through something. They might be driving like a dipshit, but that doesn't mean that they're entirely a dipshit. So if you do have to vent and just go, like, why are you such a moron? Do it in the privacy where nobody else is going to hear you. And then after you get those feelings out, try to look at it from a higher perspective. Oh, you know, maybe I was being too harsh. Maybe, you know, maybe they're going through something. Maybe they're struggling. We never know what another person might be dealing with. We also have, I love this card because I almost feel like, you know, when you say like, when you expect someone to say thank you and they don't, and so you're just like, oh, you're welcome, or like, thank you, me, for doing this thing for you. I feel like the universe does that with this card. And so it says, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. And I think that's where you are right now. And so I would like honestly screenshot this card or something. I'll like hold it up. So whenever you're just getting frustrated, try to get back in that love-centered mindset and just be like, you know what? Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. Because I think it's time for you to release what isn't. And on the back of the deck, oh, I love this. Not only does the universe have your back, but the universe works fast when I'm having fun. So with that impatience, have this Page of Cups is important because you need to have more fun, be creative, express yourself, you know? We all want to be here, not just for a long time, but for a good time. And if you're saying, well, I don't want to be here for a long time, well, you need to address that, brother. And I say that in the most gender neutral term possible. You deserve to want to have life and be happy in life, and, you know, take things as they come. Change doesn't happen that fast. Like, it happens gradually, and oftentimes we look back and realize, oh wow, like it comes to a point where you're like, oh wow, I really have changed a lot. So let's look at some charms and see what the universe wants to tell you. Okay, so this is interesting because yeah, you're bottling up your emotions a lot, pile 2. There's a lot more under the surface that you're fearing expressing, and I feel like Spirit is asking you to go ahead and release those emotions, but also express them. But I feel like Spirit's asking you to do it in a specific way. So don't do it from a place of like anger or frustration. Understand your emotions, understand why they're happening. You know, I think especially if you're one of those people in a relationship, you're both bottling up your emotions. Or, you know, if this is a person that you want to talk to your emotions about, like if you're in that situation where you're hoping for a fresh start with this person or something new in the future, you know, it's time to address those emotions so that when the time comes, you're ready. And, you know, to come at it from a lighthearted place and understand why things happened the way they did. And of course we have the flying pig here, which I love because this talks all about believing in the impossible and believing that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. And what I love again is that we have the seahorse, and we have the seahorses in the Two of Cups as well. So this could definitely relate to a partner, but I feel like the universe is asking you to just watch and wait. Just watch and wait, you know? Don't jump to conclusions. Don't write someone off before they haven't given you the chance to prove that yet. Just watch and wait. You're gaining wisdom in this transitory period with this hangman energy. You're gaining a lot more wisdom than you realize. And, you know, if you're already in a relationship with somebody, you know, seahorses mate for life. And if you feel like this person that you're hoping to have a fresh start with or that you're separated with, I feel like there's nothing to worry about here. Everything will work out for the highest good, and you just need to trust that. We also have Martin here. He is just a little cool guy. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you're not too cool to regress to that childhood Page of Cups energy. You're not too cool to dance around in your underpants when you're home alone and, like, having fun, you know? Try not to, like, it's okay to just let go sometimes and just be goofy and be silly. Like, that's valid and you deserve to do that. Like, you're already really cool just as you are, and you deserve to let loose and have fun. And we also have the little elephant here. So this to me is all about overcoming obstacles, but gaining wisdom and more compassion for the universe as you do it. And maybe not just the universe, but just compassion for others and for those situations that we may not understand, because a lot of times we don't necessarily understand what somebody is going through. We only see a partial part of the picture. So it's important to remember that a lot of times we're always just doing the best we can with the information we have at the time we're doing it, and there's no reason to spread anger or hate. Just trust that, like, you know, people are, you can't control everybody, we can't control what people do, but you deserve to be patient and kind with yourself and just kind of let go of anything that isn't serving you. And with this shark again, you know, I'm just being called back to the idea of speaking your truth, but speaking it in a compassionate way, in an honest way, in a way that isn't accusatory or angry, but is coming from a place of love and a place of neutrality. And then we also have the letters T and E. So I'm thinking of 10 here. I'm also thinking of entertainment tonight. Maybe if you're watching too much drama stuff, maybe let go of that. Watch something more wholesome and hopeful. This also just once again speaks to the teacher thing. And also I just heard tear. So it's okay to cry, especially for people with masculine energy watching. It's okay to cry. Like, if you need to let it out, like, let it out. Like, crying doesn't make you weak. It's literally just it's just an emotional response that we have. And oh, maybe if your favorite childhood movie is E.T. or Extraterrestrial, maybe watch that. You know, sometimes we do feel like we're aliens in the world, but just, I also get with Martin, you might feel a bit of imposter syndrome sometimes. Trust that you're in the place where you are because you've worked hard to achieve it. But you deserve to feel emotions. You don't have to be strong for everybody. You've got wonderful things coming in the future, but you deserve to have fun as well. And if there are emotional things holding you back, you know, release those emotions. Stop bottling those emotions up, because it's time to live for you. So before we leave, I'm going to give you just a few songs. They might have messages from Spirit, or they just might be relevant to you. So we have Rockabye by Clean Bandit. This came out in another. So yeah, this could go back to that needing to just kind of get into that childlike mindset again. We also have Drunken Love by Beyonce. And so yeah, maybe you just need to do some dancing. And Obsessed by Mariah Carey. So take those. If they don't resonate at all, you don't need to hold on to them. But if you just want to do some dancing or have some fun, you know, these might have messages in them for you. So I am going to leave this reading here. Pile 2, thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you are more interested for readings like this in the future, and definitely leave me a comment below and let me know how it resonates. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through and giving me the opportunity to read your cards and charms. I really appreciate all of you, and I love you guys so much. I'm wishing you the best moving forward, and I hope you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose the Flower Agate Heart and the Whispering Spirits Tarot, this is an indie deck, and I will link it down below because I really love it. This is your reading, and this is what the universe wants you to know. So to start off, I wanted to get to know my Pile 3s a little bit, who you guys are, what you might be going through. So if this resonates, then this message is definitely for you. If it doesn't, you might want to check the other piles to see if there is one that fits you and what you're going through a bit better. But I structured this so that you should be able to know, like, oh yeah, this is my pile. So let's look at your cards. We have the Alchemist, Insecurity, the Swan, and the Butterfly. Actually, I want to switch these. Yeah, I like that more. So you could have water or air in your chart, or water air placements. Aquarius is calling out to me especially, as is Cancer, maybe even like Cancer rising or Aquarius sun rising. I don't know. You could have water or air placements, but certainly not exclusive to that. You can have any placement and this can still resonate. So with the Alchemist here, the light attribute says transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. You guys, my pile threes, are undergoing a period of great transition and change. These are my master manifestors. If the Magician card in tarot has any special connection to you, this is definitely your pile. With the Swan here, you could be someone who's very sensitive to energies. You could be a mystic of some kind, somebody very graceful, but someone with a highly developed emotional intelligence. And sorry if you can hear that siren. It definitely seems like you've been through a lot, pile three. And with this butterfly card here, it's like this change is still undergoing. And it's like you have a good idea of where you want to go, where you want to be, who you want to be, and you have the ability to manifest it. But you have this devil on your shoulder that's always telling you that you're not good enough, or that what you create is bad, or that there isn't space for you, or that you're annoying, or that you're not doing enough. And I feel like in your childhood especially, you were probably put down a lot, whether this was by people in your family or by you know, people at school, people around you, maybe even adult figures like teachers. But with this Swan here, I feel like I just have to say it. You're not that ugly duckling anymore. And here's the thing. I don't even mean that in a, like, oh, you were ugly growing up. I don't mean it that way. I mean the awkward version of yourself, the version of yourself that you used to be, you're not that anymore. In fact, you're continuing to transform at an insane rate. And your emotional intelligence is something that is getting you very far in this process. But I feel like Spirit is asking you to be very, very aware of your thoughts and your feelings, because everything you're thinking and feeling radiates into the universe. And with air being one of the cards here, there's probably a huge rift between your heart and your mind. And I feel like Spirit is asking your heart to take the lead right now. And I know this is supposed to be describing you more than anything, but I already just feel like Spirit just has things that they want to say. Because your mind is catching up. I think that you're needing to retrain your brain to understand that sometimes your heart needs to take the lead. And I almost feel like this devil could just be like your anxious feelings, those feelings of not being good enough, because you are good enough. In fact, you are very, very intelligent, emotionally and logically. You have the ability to change who you are. You have the ability to mirror energies and create the life that you want. You're a master manifester, and this is my pile of people who can do literally anything they set their mind to. You could be a scientist, you could be an inventor, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be just somebody who wants to manifest more success and abundance in their life. No matter what it is, you're doing a wonderful job. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to honor this more emotionally nurturing side of yourself, especially if you have a more masculine energy. I feel like you might be neglecting that part of yourself, and I think maybe there's a call for you to honor what your heart says and what your soul calls you to do, because it's helping you manifest what you want. I also think a lot of your childhood beliefs and opinions are what's holding you back. I feel like Spirit is asking you to look in the mirror and recognize that you are not who you were when you were 12. You're not who you were when you were 5. You're so much stronger. You're so much different. Like, it's time to acknowledge that you can change who you think you are. And I think that you're getting into that mindset, and you're starting to understand why all the things that have happened to you in your life have happened. But now we need to integrate acceptance of that. I think what's missing here is the acceptance that you're actually so much better than you think you are, and you're so much more awesome than you think you are, and you're just too hard on yourself. And so grounding might be important here. And what's interesting is that we don't have earth here. So grounding could be something that you need help with, especially like root chakra healing, healing those inner child wounds. But I feel like Spirit is confirming that you've been undergoing a lot of change, and you're still continuing that. You're like, I want to say 50 to, I don't even want to put 25 to 75%. It's gonna resonate differently for all of you, but you're gonna know. You're either getting there and starting to understand how much power you truly have, or you've gone through a lot of transformation at this point, and you're like, oh man, like, can I actually pull this off? Yes. Whatever you're worried about, like, you can pull it off. You have the ability to integrate all of the elements, to separate from your desires, from physical things, from emotions, from wants, to just be the objective magician and create the reality that you want. This is a master manifester right here. And that's why I say be extra careful of your thoughts and your feelings and what you project, because what you project is going to come back. And the more positive and more like, yes, I can do this. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to release. The more you get into that flow, the faster your manifestations are going to come along. But nonetheless, you're someone probably very physically beautiful here with the butterfly and the swan. You might be very graceful or very elegant, or you just might be somebody who has a very relaxing presence, or just like a calming, neutral presence, an energy that just makes people feel better. I also think a lot of people don't recognize you now, or are kind of shook by the person that you're becoming. And maybe you don't even know this, but I think a lot of people are like, wow, like, they really have grown, like, they've changed, they're not the same person. And I want to confirm that you're not the same person. So it's time to change those thought patterns of your old self, because you're transforming and you're becoming the best version of you. And that's what's so wonderful. So let's get into your advice, and let's see what Spirit wants you to know. I'm going to cut the deck really quickly. So, Spirit, pile 3. What do you want pile 3 to know? Okay, so to start, we have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. We have Strength. Hello, Leos. Got a lot of Leo energy. And honestly, if you're drawn to a different pile, I would watch that pile as well, because it seems like a lot of people are in similar energies. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. We have the Ace of Wands, the Five of Wands. Sorry, I'm not holding these on camera. The Two of Cups, the Hierophant, and on the back of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. I love this Four of Swords. I think he is just so freaking cute. So, what does Spirit want you to know? Well, to start off, with this Seven of Coins here, Spirit is confirming that a lot of the work that you've been putting in is acknowledged by the universe. You're kind of needing to find a way to accept that this growth is coming within time. And it's something that's going to require a little bit of patience. And you might also be in a self-reflective mode right now. It's possible that you've recently found a new passion, or just have a lot of like fire for something that is new to you, or something that you enjoyed in the past that you kind of let go of, and you're like, man, why did I ever let go of this? Or why did I stop doing this? I feel like you're just in a very reflective state right now. And with the Four of Swords here, I feel like Spirit's telling you the main idea of all of this is you're not going to find these answers by analyzing the past. You're actually going to find these answers by going within. You might be clairvoyant. You might have very vivid dreams. And maybe a lot of answers are actually in your dreams. So you might want to think about that. With this Page of Swords here, I feel like you still see yourself as a novice or a newbie. And you might fight with yourself about what's right all the time. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to let go of that inner resistance. Because I feel like this inner resistance comes from a fear of being wrong, or a fear of failing. And there's nothing wrong with failing or being wrong. And also, you've come a long way. Like, you're a lot stronger than you think you are. And strength here, duh. Not only are you a lot stronger than you think you are, but a lot of the inner turmoil and chaos you feel is just the new version of you arguing with the old version of you. And I feel like Spirit is asking you, especially with this Ace of Wands here, what version of you gives you passion? Is it the old version of you, or is it the new version of you? Because I guarantee you it's the new version of you, because I bet you like this newer version of you, this version of you that you're becoming, a lot more than who you were. And so it's time to tell your inner guidance, your conscious, to shut the hell up. Because this resistance to change is just your fears coming out. And here's the thing, we all have fears, but we have to acknowledge when they are limiting us from achieving our full potential. For some of you, these fears might relate to a connection. Maybe somebody in your past that you feel like just got you, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. Or maybe this is a partner that you currently have, and maybe you guys aren't seeing eye to eye, and you're trying to figure out how you can hold this together. But for a lot of you, this Two of Cups can even just relate to that old version of you and this new version of you. It's time to find the synthesis between that and kind of tame that inner side of you that is always just harping on you and like telling you that you're not good enough, or telling you that you can't do something. I feel like you don't see yourself in a very accurate light at all. Like at all. And part of the reason for that is because you're so humble. And that might be a little bit contradictory with like Leo energy, because Leo energy does tend to be kind of prideful and proud. But I feel like Spirit's asking you to embody that Leo energy, even if you're not a Leo, to be more proud of who you are, to trust that like this transformation is happening for a reason. And I love that there's this little white butterfly here, because you know, we've already had that butterfly come out once. And I think that you have overcome a lot more than you think you have. And it's time to just tame that inner beast that's telling you that you can't do something. Whether it's you can't fix or save this relationship, you can't reach out to them, you can't find peace within yourself. Yes, you can. You can do any of those things. And I feel like Spirit is really saying, especially with this Four of Swords here, a lot of the answers that you're looking for are within you. Your soul knows what it wants and what it needs. And looking at it from a logical perspective is not going to help you, because the soul tends to speak through the heart. And we have to be open to our heart, whether it is who speaks to our heart, if it's a partner or somebody that you maybe want to start something with, or somebody that you continue to think about, maybe that you've been thinking about reaching out to, whether it's a creative passion or your business or your job. I think you've allowed your logical mind to take the steering wheel for far too long, and now you need to be a student of your intuition and of your soul. You already have a highly developed emotional intelligence, and so the key to this now is trusting it. It's the only thing holding you back. It's like you know the answers that you need to keep moving forward, but you keep looking back in the past like, oh, is there something that I'm missing, or is there something that I need to do? And it's like you're just fighting with yourself over and over and over, because you refuse to come to a consensus and just trust what your gut is saying. The more you trust what your gut is saying and just trust that the universe is going to co-create with you, those answers are going to come. Like, you're going to find your flow, and it's going to be smooth sailing for you. We have Taurus energy here with the Hierophant. And I feel like Spirit is trying to assure you, especially with this Nine of Coins here, that you will gain material success if you haven't already. It's part of your spiritual journey. It's part of your spiritual purpose. And it's one of the rewards you will reap by following this gut of yours. You need to follow it. And if you can't listen to it, that's when you need to take a break and quiet your mind. Meditation is so important here. Making sure you're taking care of yourself. Giving yourself just time to rest and go within, to cocoon yourself a little bit. And if there's anyone you see as this Nine of Coins, I feel like Spirit is asking you, you know, what traits in common do you have with a person that you see as a Nine of Coins? This is someone who's independent, somebody who's successful, somebody who's financially well off. And whatever traits that you admire in them, those are the traits that you need to develop. And also for some of you, this Five of Wands, there might be people in your current environment that aren't very supportive of your goals and your dreams. And because you're changing, the people in your life might change as well. And so I feel like Spirit is asking you to not be afraid to cut people off if they don't serve your highest good. It's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in our lives forever. And if you're trying to start a new journey, if you're trying to forge a new path, and the people in your life aren't supportive of that, you're not required to keep them there. And just because you love and care about someone, if they're not of your highest good, you're not required to hold on to them. And I feel like all of what you've been going through is to, one, show you how successful and how accomplished you can be, but also to understand how not alone you are, and how the divine does have a massive role in your life and how you've developed and how nothing has been a coincidence. Nothing has. And the more you follow your gut and the more you have the strength to tell your logical mind to just shut the hell up, because let's be real, some logic is important, but when it overrides your gut feelings and stops you from doing what you want and what your heart's desiring, that's a problem. And so you need to be strong enough to realize that that logic is just one mode of thinking, and it has its place and it has its time. But when it comes to your soul's purpose and accomplishing your dreams, logic will not always help you. And sometimes we have to listen to our heart, and you have a highly developed heart and you're very intuitive. So you need to trust that what your intuition is telling you is correct. Spirit is so proud of you and all that you've accomplished so far. And you're only going to continue to keep growing and keep transforming. You, by the end of this journey, you are not going to recognize the person you were when you started. And you're going to be so proud of yourself. And you've already done a lot of the work. But I feel like you're looking to the past for answers that aren't actually there. You might be overreading into things. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at the present and look ahead with a fresh mindset of, I am only going to welcome and accept what is of my highest good. I am not going to be hard on myself for things in the past. Remember that, with shit in the past, like, you're always doing the best that you can with the knowledge that you have and the time and the place that it happens. We're not perfect, and you can't hold yourself to this like extreme version of perfection. It doesn't exist. And it might be hard for you to get into that heart mindset because, the Page of Swords like doesn't even understand that. But maybe if you're a very logical person, study your intuition, study your psychic abilities, get into that mode of studying your feelings and how they relate to your environment, how they relate to the people around you. Writing is important here. You should definitely be keeping a journal if you're not already. Journal your thoughts, your feelings. Communicate with yourself. I think you need to be able to establish a communication style with yourself if you haven't already. You might also need to learn how to balance the feminine and masculine aspects within yourself, like the yin and the yang. But overall, you're doing a great job. And I think at this point, you just need to let go of the idea of who you were and allow yourself to look at the future with a fresh mindset and give your mind a break. Let your heart take the steering wheel sometimes and just see where it ends up. See where it leads you. Because a lot of times, the soul speaks through the heart. And if you want to honor your soul and what your soul is calling you to do, you're not going to find it in material things, and you're certainly not going to find it by overanalyzing it to death. Sometimes we just have to trust what we know in our gut and just keep moving. You are an alchemist. You are a master manifester. You are creating the reality you want, and your anxieties, your fears, your contradictions, what's holding you back is all of those inner things that are your fears, essentially. I feel like you're creating almost some self-fulfilling prophecies that are causing you more harm than good. And I think definitely if love is one of these huge problems with this ladybug here, this also relates to inner child healing. You might have a hard time giving and receiving love because you don't know what that looks like. You don't know what that actually looks like. What is unconditional love? And here's the thing. It's very hard to understand what that is if we weren't given it growing up. And I'm so sorry if you grew up in an environment where you weren't given that kind of love. But I want to assure you that the universe has unconditional love for you, and you can learn how to love this way. You can break that pattern of not feeling loved, of not being able to give or receive that love, because ultimately by pushing away love, you're just pushing away a huge, beautiful aspect of life. And you can't just be on your own forever. Possessions aren't going to create fulfillment. Your rational mind isn't going to create fulfillment. You need fulfillment in many different aspects. And if you're not in tune with your heart space, which is kind of tragic with this swan here, it's like you do have the ability to give and receive love. It's just like, you know, it just might be fear holding you back. And I completely relate to this. Fears hold me back all the time. And I have to get out of that mindset of being like, of just saying, F it, I'm just going to do it anyway. Fight your fears, you know, cut them with a sword. My dad always tells me, he repeats this acronym all the time: fear is just false existences appearing real, which I think he uses a different word for the E, but this is what I can remember for now. But fear is just that, and it's only limiting you and holding you back, and you deserve to follow your dreams and follow what your soul calls you to do. You've already made so much progress. You're becoming the change you want to see, but you cannot hold yourself back by adhering to ideas that you thought were correct when you were younger, or adhering to beliefs or policies that you had when you were a different person. It's time to be open. Just be open to what's coming and have an open heart and open mind and be grateful for what's to come. Because I promise the universe isn't out to get you. Everything that's happened to you has brought you to this point of immense transformation so that you can create the life that you want. This has all had a reason here with the Hierophant, and I promise you there are beautiful things coming. But all of the answers that you're looking for are not in your past. They're within you, and they start with you healing. So let's go ahead and get you some advice and see what the universe wants you to know. So, Spirit, what do you want pile 3 to know? 77. Oh, I love this. It is time to move on from the old patterns, habits, and fears. Now is the time to walk in the direction of your biggest desires and ambitions. It's the time to be bold and brave. I am brave. Fuck yes. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But just yes. This is what you need. And we have 888 with strength. As you focus on all the wonderful things that surround you, you're clearing the path for more positive energy to flow into all areas of your life and creating a place for abundance. I am abundant. Exactly. This is how you're creating that abundance. I told you, Spirit is assuring that for you. And I love this. Okay, so, and finally we have 16. You have an inquisitive mind that allows you to uncover important truths. You have a special ability to read into other people's feelings. A wisdom seeker and your angels ask to share your knowledge for the benefit of others. I am perceptive. Exactly. Stop fighting this. You know, use your logic to your benefit. It's time. Oh, you guys are so cool. I hope that this helps you realize how cool you are, because you're meant to do some really, really great things. And I love that this came out, because it shows how logic does have a place, but it can't overrule everything that you're doing. So, Spirit, what other advice do you have for my pile 3 people? We have Flapper and Bloodwing. True friends stick together every step of the way. And I love that, because that's showing the people that are meant to be in your life aren't going to fall away when you are following your new path. You're going to be able to change, and they're going to support you no matter what, because true friends want you to be happy. They want you to be the best version of yourself, and they will encourage you to be the best version of yourself. So if they tear you down, if they tell you that you're not enough or that you can't do something, those aren't true friends, because true friends will always support you and always be there for you. We also have Ninja. Break out of your shell. You were born to shine. And I love that, because you are, and it's time for you to start shining. And then on the back of the deck, we have Crystal, Tourmaline, and Haru. Your energy flows where your attention goes. So this is exactly what I was saying about being a master manifester. You have to be careful, because if your intentions are, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, that's where your energy is going to go. So your intentions have to be, I am open to giving and receiving love. I am open to what is of the highest good for all. I am open to achieving abundance. I am open to receiving abundance. I am open to success. I am open to new ways of thinking and new ways of being. So let's see what else the universe wants you to know, what other advice they have for you. So Spirit, do you want to tell my pile threes? I choose to learn through love. Yes, it's time for you to start learning through that love mindset. Learning because you love yourself, understanding that the lessons that you learn is so that the universe can love you. Our deepest wounds crack us open to receive light and love. We also have, I am the loving energy of the universe. Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness. Okay. We also have, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. And on the back of the deck, oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. Actually, I'm taking this one too. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. And we have, when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So be the version of yourself that makes you happiest. And it's important to remember, you guys need to see this one too. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. So that's what you're focusing on, surrendering. It's time for you to feel peace and happiness and joy. You deserve those things, and you need to believe that you're deserving of those things. Nobody got this many advice cards, so I want you to know, like, the universe is really trying to hammer home how powerful you are, how much you're truly transforming, and how capable you are of achieving everything that you want to achieve. You are so powerful. You're awesome. You're awesome. And if you don't believe it, I am going to send you a spiritual wake-up call in the most loving way ever, because you need to understand that you are one with the universe. You are able to create this reality. Follow your soul. Your soul is calling to you. You just need to answer the damn phone and acknowledge that it's time for you to follow your freaking dreams. Get over your insecurities however you need to, because they are just that. They are just insecurities. You are valid and you are wonderful, and you do not need outside assurance to let you know that. But I am that outside assurance to let you know that once you start relying on your inner assurance, what people say to you on the outside won't matter, because you'll know who you are and you'll know what you deserve, and you will understand that unconditional love. We have to understand what unconditional love is and how to give it to ourselves in order to truly understand what the heck that is, especially if we didn't get it growing up. So let's look at your charms now. Spirit, what do you want, pile 3 to know? Okay. Okay, so we have Leo and Cancer energy coming out here. So we have this charm here, which always reminds me of the 6 of Cups, but we also have a little butterfly in it. You are transforming from your history. Be kind to your inner child and do the inner child healing that you need to in order to understand that now you are a much stronger and different person than you once were. You are powerful. You are amazing. And it's time for you to give that love that you deserve, especially if you're the type to give it to other people. Don't be afraid of your emotions. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to help you. And with this monkey here, it's time to let go of that monkey mind, that anxious energy that tells you you aren't good enough. You know, Leo energy is prideful. It knows their worth. And with the Cancer here, you know, you can't be like this crabby, like protect your heart forever. It's time to be open so that this monkey can't rule your mind anymore. Once your heart starts overpowering that fear mindset, you're just going to see how powerful things are. But with Cancer, we also have imaginative. You're probably very visionary. And with generous, you need to be kind to yourself. You need to give to yourself. And you could be clairvoyant, also clairaudient with these music charms coming out. You also have an S and a 1. You're just number one. You're a superhero. But also, with this Cancer here, the things that you imagine and that you see in your mind's eye, you have complete ability to create in your head. I mean, to create in reality, in the 3D. It's not just in your head. And also, I think Spirit tries to communicate to you through music. When words fail, music speaks. So pay close attention to music and the messages that you're getting, which I'm about to pull you some songs, so that will be useful. And we also have A, so SA or as is. This makes me think of the Magician. So that number 1 is obviously the Magician card, and then as above, so below is a mantra of the Magician, and it could be your mantra or something that you relate to. You could be a Leo or a Cancer or have those placements. But let's go ahead and look at your songs. Also, if music is something that you use as a creative outlet, like, don't be afraid to do that more. But let's see what songs Spirit has messages for you. And so pile 3, Spirit. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that there's probably some in here that are meant for some and meant for others. And I think you'll know what songs are meant for you. So I'm gonna do all of them because I don't want to take away. So we have Honeymoon Fades by Sabrina Carpenter. We have Burn It Down by Linkin Park. We have Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. We also have Without You by David Guetta featuring Usher. We also have Centuries by Fall Out Boy. We have Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. And I think this is the last one. Yeah. Oh, so this is a K-pop song. So this one will only resonate for my K-pop people, or if you live in Korea, but Liar Liar by Oh My Girl. It's really kind of adorable song. And I honestly think this relates to not lying to yourself anymore, because you're wonderful and you deserve wonderful, wonderful things. So pile 3, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you are interested in more videos like this in the future. And definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards and charms. I'm wishing you all the best moving forward, and I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye!